Today's topic is...
Start now!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to WAYPN. I'm Cal.
I'm Sunny.
Today we're going to be talking about...
Starting now, because there's never a better time than now.
It's that time of year where everybody is going around and they're remembering what they have achieved. And you should remember what you have achieved. But the thing that people forget is that this is the worst time for people making resolutions. You want to know why?
Because New Year's resolutions never succeed. It's one of those things that nobody cares if you fail it because nobody is keeping tabs if you do it or not.
We are culturally set up to fail the New Year's resolutions. In fact, when most people keep to a New Year's resolution, other people don't praise them. They're envious of them. They're angry with them.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense why people stop in the end.
So you should
start now.
That's what we did with our channel a while back. We started in July last year and we were only doing a video a month. And then I started pushing Sunny to do more.
And I wasn't happy about it because back then I was still very slow with video editing. And also we had a lot of things going on in the background that took up a lot of our time, which means we couldn't get to videos quickly enough as well. But as we went along, he slowly pushed me to do once every 2 weeks. And then slowly now I'm at the stage where I can do a video once every week.
In fact, we still have things going on in the background. I think we might have maybe just fixed our sound, maybe.
But there's always something like this in the background.
Yeah, we put up some sound dampening doonas as sound curtains and we think that it's fixed it.
But let's talk about the Dungeons and Lasers project, which we started sometime towards the end of last year.
In fact, I think it was actually December that we started it, and I said it for this exact reason.
Yes, exactly. Because if we didn't have started it in December, we would have just sort of been like sitting ducks and the mood would have passed and we wouldn't have gotten started.
I know we have talked about this before. However, I think the reason why this is a very good example is because lots of people have that problem.
Tell me you don't have a Kickstarter box laying in the corner. Tell me you don't have a whole bunch of sprues you haven't assembled yet. And tell me you don't have a bunch of models you still haven't painted.
But it's not as if you're alone with that. We had that massive Kickstarter in the corner, and the only way we got through it was by me pushing Sunny and Sunny pushing me.
Yes, if we had taken a break when we thought we needed a break, we wouldn't have finished it as soon as we did. And now we have a full set of terrain that we can use to play any game we want, anytime we want.
Or at least any fantasy or medieval style game.
Yeah, that is true.
But Sunny, you're not without empathy. You wanted to use an analogy to explain how most people live their lives.
I would describe life for most people as a house without a roof. Without a roof, your house is constantly flooded with rain. And aside from that, you have to clean the house up to clear all the flooding and at the same time go to work, earn the money to buy a roof. And you gotta do these two things at the same time. You can't just stop and do one thing, because if you just do one thing, the other thing doesn't get done and you have a constantly flooded house on your hands.
So your analogy could be summarized as most people feel like they have too much to do.
Yes, but it's a matter of setting aside time, scheduling things to be done so that they do get done. It's never going to be useful when you have the I will do it later mentality, because do you know what happens when you say I will do it later? It becomes I'll do it never.
Despite the mum-like tone of this, I have to agree. I have found that in most people's lives, they do have time, but they use that time to relax. But you can relax in many different ways, and the issue is that a lot of people relax in ways that don't actually make them relaxed.
So what do you mean by that?
Okay, so you know that smoking is a coping mechanism.
Yes.
Now, there are definitely chemical dependencies when it comes to smoking. However, one of the biggest things when it comes to smoking is that actual process of proper, deep breathing that most people don't do.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But what about the thing that most people do to relax? Watching TV?
I think you will find that that is not what most people are actually doing these days. Most people are actually doom scrolling. Sunny, can you explain doom scrolling?
I would say doom scrolling is the act of endlessly scrolling through something until you find something that catches your attention, and then you move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
We've all done it, and we all do things that we know are unhealthy for us.
Because it's easy.
However, I think that is living life unintentionally. I don't think it's a bad thing to relax. I don't think that it's a bad thing to give yourself your dues. However, I do think it is a bad thing to live your life unintentionally. And I think that one of the most living unintentionally life paths is going with that idea of a New Year's resolution. The new year never comes. The calendar changes, but it is not a new year. Most of the time what I see is this. Most people come in hopeful, and then slowly the drudgery of life sinks in.
There is no magic reset button, and that's why you need to start now.
Sunny, let us summarize.
Later never comes, there will always be an excuse, and you have to find a way to start now.
We've made something at the end that might help motivate you, but maybe it's not your flavor. In the meantime, keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye. Start now.
Nothing starts finished.
There's a goal you want to reach, but what's stopping you?
You
It's my New Year's resolution.
Go.
Enough! There will always be an excuse.
Start now. How long will it take before people truly realize that time is not infinite? Once you've spent it, it's gone. It is never coming back. All those goals unaccomplished. That person you could have kept in touch with, they are now out of reach. How's that gym membership looking? Cancelled after January? Got that raise yet?
Enough! What are your goals? It doesn't have to be hobby related. Fitness, finance, family. Why aren't you pushing to reach these? What, because you're not good enough? Was it you? Was it you?
There will always be an excuse. Some of the times they're good excuses, but let's be honest, most of the time they're not. Do you feel proud of yourself after a day of relaxing? No. You know when you're proud of yourself. It's when you put in your best effort, even when you fail. It's what you do despite the results.
There will always be an obstacle.
So what?
There will always be an impediment.
So what?
There will always be
So what? So what? You're going to stop? You're going to give up? You're going to regret?
Are you going to spend another year wondering what could have been?
Start now.
Wade your way to the future. Don't wait for it.
Start now.
There will never be a better time than
Now.
Nothing starts finished. There will never be a better time than
Now.